Hello, I'm
Hello.
Laura Meyer, and I'm delighted today to be joined by Angela Cretu. Hi, Angela. Thanks so much
Hello.
for
Hello. Very nice to
joining.
meet you.
So, Angela, you and I are both members of Angel Academy. What would be great if you could start by telling us about your background? Because I know you've had a really interesting career to date. So, please tell us about it.
Sure. So I've been blessed. I've had a fascinating career with Avon for the last 25 years. I traveled the world. I lived in many places, from New York to Moscow, from Istanbul to Belgrade, yes, leading countries from sub-Saharan Africa to Philippines to Latin America. I've had the chance to learn from thousands of women a lot about their life stories and serve the company's purpose of empowering women around the world. I started as an area sales manager in Romania, and then I continued my career with several management positions, leading countries, leading regions, leading global strategy, up to the last role in the last 5 years as a CEO of the company and currently proudly serving their board. I have always followed the compass of supporting women and creating a better environment for them to succeed and seeing the tremendous value of not just social but as well economical of this complementarity of perspectives coming from different genders, people coming from different walks of life. And I have been a keen advocate for women empowerment for many, many years now.
Thank you. So, tell us, why did you become an angel investor?
It's not just an angel investor, it's an angel investor supporting female founders. So I think this was my key motivator, how to
Right.
continue supporting women, how to continue following the same mission, through different, portfolio of activities. And I decided to use the experience I've built working in so many countries, understanding diverse cultural nuances with my purpose of supporting women. And this is how I decided to become an angel investor by the side of Angel Academy, who is focused solely on female founders.
Right. So tell us, please, how did you get started?
As an angel investor,
Yeah,
like
yes.
me, I initially was I got a recommendation from one of my colleagues who I deeply respect, and I heard about this network of investors who would do, in a way, a much richer activity than just investing in female founders out there, and that could be a huge learning opportunity as well for me. And I was very curious to see how this community acts together. So I think for almost a year I was a guest in
All
Angel
right.
Academy meetings and their own, screening meetings. When the new startups would present, their businesses. And then after 1 year, I decided to become a member.
Right. Okay. Thank you for that. So let's talk about what you look for with an investment. Are you drawn towards certain sectors, for example, or are you sector agnostic? What is it you look for?
I am inclined to look for sectors like health and well-being.
Right.
I believe there is a huge growth potential in these sectors,
Right.
especially now with the advancements of technology and AI, when we have this almost real-time access to tons of insights from different databases around the world. I do
Yeah.
see a huge potential in this area. Yet I am always curious to explore other sectors as well. I've been part of quite a few due diligence teams for startups who would come from edutech, deep tech, other types of sectors, and there is always so much to learn from it.
Yes, absolutely. So what impresses you when you meet founders? And what do you look for in a founder?
I'm looking to see not just their passion for their idea, but as well their ability to execute.
Right. Yeah, very important.
And we've had quite a few situations where we would all be extremely excited by the how the innovative the concept would be. Yet there was little to none capability to execute against that concept. So then we either help that specific business and founder to find their way and find the right people for them to be able to bring to life their amazing idea, or we step aside if there is no openness for such help.
Mm.
And therefore, to me, these are the key criteria, when investing, is the power of the concept and as well ability to execute.
Mm. When I've met numerous founders, I'm always so impressed by how much energy they have, how much commitment, the belief in what they're doing. And it's a real slog, isn't it? We know.
It's amazing. And I don't want to create, to go to create kind of stereotypical comment, but generally, I found that female founders are, even if they're a little bit more risk adverse, which is also good for early seed investors, yes. Um, they once they commit to a certain action, they don't lose focus
Yes.
in achieving exactly what they've committed. It's not like men wouldn't do it. Men are explorers by nature. They are they know how to take risks. We could see statistically right now, I'm talking data, they would bring growth faster. Yes, in terms of sustainability, creating value for all key stakeholders, not just for shareholders, for community as well, for planet. Women bring this extra dimension of managing paradoxes and creating value, optimizing value for all stakeholders.
So you've talked a little bit about pitches that you've seen where you might not be getting the right vibe, or you might not be getting the right information. So what would raise a red flag to you to think, okay, this isn't really investable?
The reaction during the due diligence
Right.
questions. So if I see a founder being quite reactive,
Right.
is to our suggestions, and not necessarily being curious about where we come from when we ask a question or another, or being supportive, proactive in ensuring that there is the right information shared with all potential investors. That would be a red flag for me.
Right. What is your top advice to entrepreneurs who are looking to fundraise with angel investors?
I would say, first of all, never, 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 never be give up. If you feel your idea is right, you must find a way to make it a feasible business concept. So it might not come, to meet your expectations in the first round, second round, third round, but while if you try to learn through the process,
Yes.
you will always find a way to make it feasible.
What advice would you give to new investors, new angel investors? So you mentioned that you spent some time going along to meetings before you joined Angel Academe to see what you thought, ask questions, etc. Is that something you'd say to others? Okay, do that. Is there anything else that you say was a great thing to do?
I think this helped me a lot. We have extraordinary people in our community. I've been fascinated by their life stories. They come from all walks of life.
Yeah.
and different careers and different perspectives. Every meeting I have with this community, uh, I I I get so many new insights. So I get a homework either to search for a new concept or to reflect over a certain, perspective that I've just heard. It's fantastic, and I think that's the richness of this network. Is not just the fact that we all come together to invest in certain businesses. Is the quality of interactions, the conversations, the discussions, the mentoring available in this network, the kindness, the openness of people. We are all equal. We are all partnering one another. The transparency, assertiveness, even of our discussions is so refreshing. So refreshing. No politics, because we don't have to please anyone. We all support one another. We all have the same interest to support the female founders, in the same time create viable, yes, deal propositions. And I would advise any investors, especially the ones who would consider Angel Academy, to just let themselves, experience this immersive. So to have that immersive experience in learning from other members,
Mm.
and then step by step starting adding their own value, their own perspectives.
And you and I have worked on, I think, one uh, due diligence together in terms of we've been on the same deal team. And you mentioned, and I know you love doing due diligence and are really, really brilliant at it. And is there anything that you've particularly learned from doing that you thought, wow, I hadn't thought about that before? And do you tend to say, I know when I've looked at some, I've done due diligence perhaps on something that isn't my background, so I might have done it on HR or something else because it's interesting. And have you done that same thing, or do you like to stick more with what you feel you can add more to?
No, there is nothing. First of all, there is nothing to lose here. It's not
Mm.
like it's a safe environment, and I often put myself into due diligence teams over businesses where the object, the service, the product are out of my, I would say, experience, professional experience or knowledge. As I would give you many examples where I had to go back to my chemistry lessons to understand a little bit more about the polymers and the nanofibers, or going back to understand what actually, what is the texture of a Kevlar vest. And it's, or going back to understand how the, the credit check teams operate. And so it's an extremely rich and diverse, um, you know, it's a wealth of knowledge
Yes.
out there. And I love being in these due diligence teams because it's giving me the opportunity to expand my experience, my knowledge in a very safe environment.
Yes. Yeah. Now, we've touched on Angel Academy, but tell us what you like most about Angel Academy.
I like the fact that this is a tight community. We do meet often.
Mm-hmm.
We do have already, I would say, a little bit of culture of our own. I like that. Of course, we do have the advantage of having amazing people leading the Angel Academy, and I mean, I always enjoy the events that we have together. I find it an activity that it's giving me a meaningful opportunity to connect and learn almost
Yes.
weekly.
And I think you touched on it before. In the community, there's a wealth of backgrounds and experience, whether it is legal, finance, tech, marketing, sales. So there's always somebody who knows something about something, and that's brilliant. And
Moreover, very
expertise.
generous to share. People are
Exactly.
very, I mean, I'm looking at our WhatsApp groups, and the insights have been changing the last 2 to 3 years. It's amazing to see, how many connections have been made, how
Yes.
many, diverse perspectives have been shared, and how people find it so easy and comfortable just to ask a question, pop a question there, and knowing that they will be getting the best answer available in that group, or at least a connection to somebody else who would know.
Yes.
And I think that's what makes a community, and that's the very definition of a true community.
Yes. And you said at the beginning how you like to support women, and we know that women still get a tiny percentage, something like, depending on the source, 2 to 4% of investment in startups for all female-founded companies. So it is really important what we're all trying to do through Angel Academe, isn't it?
It's extremely important. The reality is that in this world of investment, yes, world, you would still see the old connections playing out, and it's like the boys' club,
Yes.
where they would know one another and they would find easy, yes, to introduce a new potential investment one to another. Women don't talk the same language. They don't have the same social habits. They do not get access, and the statistics are still showing us that we are a long way till they will be getting equal access to men, to the big investors out there. That's why I applaud the initiative in Angel Academe, that because we created this focus on female founders, and creating a space for them to be heard and supported along the way, not just financially, but with the wealth of knowledge that this network brings.
Exactly. Well, Angela, it's been lovely to chat today. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, and good luck to Angel Academe and us all.